Fast forward 6 years, he was a school captain.
Oh.
On the last day of the school, he came to me and said, "You know what, miss? They bring their little bear to sign, the graduation bear. You know what? I did it." And, then I had tears in my eyes. I said, "No, you did it.
You got me into tears now.
You know what? You can still do it."
Wow.
So that's the power of being there, not judging, but helping, supporting that transformation, the changeover.
Welcome to episode number 76 of the 100 Successful Women, a Conversation to Inspire series. Before we dive in, I want to say a huge thank you to all of you for continuing to support this series. I know the release have been a little bit slower, but the conversations are still flowing and the mission is very much still alive. Today's episode is no exception. I'm so honored to be joined by the incredible Pam Rajapakse, an educator, resilient coach, and a creator of RISE framework. Pam's stories is one navigating deep personal loss, finding strength in resilience, in stillness, and choosing to lead with intention. What I love about Pam is not just her wisdom, but her humility and the calm, grounded energy she brings into the space that we have. Her inspiration story touched me deeply, and it even inspired my daughter and her friends as well, which says so much about the kind of impact Pam has made across generations. So if you also going through some change, grief, or simply craving clarity and calm, the episode might be for you. So let's dive in without further ado.
Hey, good morning, Pam. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, Vivienne. Thank you so much for inviting me for this podcast.
Thank you so much for saying yes to be part of this 100 Successful Women podcast. I am so delighted to have you here. After booking you in for a while, I know how busy you are.
Thank you so much.
So I know that Pam, via our Alive 90.5 FM radio show, I know that she's a community radio host, she's a resilient coach, and also an educator. She plays different roles in her life. So the first question, Pam, that I always ask this 100 Successful Women coach, podcast is that, despite all the hats that you're wearing in your life, Pam, who is Pam at your core?
Wow. Who am I?
I love this question.
It is actually a very reflective question. If I were to go back to who I am not my name. I'm not my physical body. And this is a question that I've been asking myself for years. And I know there's a theory out there, which I believe as well. I'm not a physical body with a spiritual being inside, but I am a spiritual being in a physical body experiencing the human life. So I am that. I'm just a speck of energy in this universe. It's something like a little note in this symphony of universe. I am there, I'm floating, and at the core of me, that's what it is. I want to be someone useful to someone else, to help somebody's life, to help someone shine a little bit brighter with whatever resources that I have. And that is who I am. I think that's a question that I've asked myself over and over and over again.
That's such a beautiful answer, Pam. I love that you are little note in the symphony of the universe. That's such a great, it's such a beautiful explanation, and I love that we are all it's a spiritual being on this universe. And then yes. I love that you mentioned about helping others to shine.
Yeah, thank you. That is my mission.
Yeah, you're such a beautiful being for everyone out there. I know that you do a lot of works as well, Pam. I know that you did mention about your journey has been both profound and deeply personal. And then I know that you did share a little bit about shaping your path to create a framework that is called RISE, R-I-S-E. Do you want to explain a little bit on your personal experience and how did you get into this framework yourself?
Absolutely. If I can give you a little bit of context, back in 2019, this is when, everyone has different turning points in their life, and this probably was one of my, the latest and one of the most profound turning points in my life. By 2019, I was suffering from a knee injury as a result of an accident for about 20 years, and it had come to the point that it required a total knee reconstruction. So I was limping, I was physically in agony and pain. At that time, it's been 3 years since I've had to take the most heartbreaking decision to move my father into a nursing home. He was a long-time diabetic, and it took its toll. He had to have a right toe amputation. About a week later, doctors approached me and said, it's not healing, the blood's not flowing below the knee, we had to amputate below the knee. My father's always been a very, very active, independent person. So getting his leg out was cutting his life in half. He was very, very traumatized. And culturally, I've been brought up to believe, to practice that we look after our parents until the last day. That has been ingrained into me. So to decide to move my father into a nursing home to give him the best medical care, that was a huge conflict within myself. So I had to decide, does it mean that I don't love him? Does it mean that I don't care for him? Does it mean that I let him down, that I'm not grateful for everything that he's done for me? That moment of reflection gave me clarity that no, you don't. You do it for the love of him. You don't have to be next to him to be loving and caring and to be grateful. You could love him from a distance, but in another way. Your relationship has to be redefined in that sense. So I had to surrender my thoughts and the cultural norms that I had been brought up with. That was the beginning of my turning point. Once I did that, my father passed away 2019 March. I had at this point in time made peace with it. I had understood what he was going through. I knew that he was coming to the end of his life. I was physically in pain with my knee. I was limping. And at the same time at work, I was completely in charge of a whole library renovation. Every decision, color of paint that I had to choose, the furniture, the fabrication, everything was on me. So I was going through my father's death, renovation, physical pain. Couple of months later, I was getting ready to go to work. My mom came into the kitchen and said, I have to tell you something, but don't be worried. Now, the alarm bells kind of started ringing. She said, I had breast cancer. She had been suffering for 4 years, Vivienne, without any treatment, without telling anyone. 4 years of that. They lived with me. So here am I going back into my guilt trip. Why didn't I notice anything? Why didn't were there any signs? Did I not see it? Did I refuse to see it? Then again, I started blaming myself here because I was the only carer. July, that was. August, she was admitted to hospital. The oncologist told me, I'll give you until December with your mom. Anything else would be a bonus. September, she passed away. The night before my daughter's birthday. So instead of planning a birthday, my daughter planned a funeral with me for her grandmother that she had grown up with. Following week was her graduation from university. I sat with an empty seat with a ticket that I had my mother's name on. That was September. I had rescued 2 dogs from the pound. One of them, you know, you have a soul dog. That's someone that actually sticks to you. My soul dog, Maggie, passed away. Missy passed away the month after my mother. No warnings, no nothing. She just passed away. She thought that's enough. She'd come here to serve a purpose. She's rescued me. She's gone. That was October. January, the other dog passed away. So I had 4 funerals in 10 months. I was still limping. I was still in pain. My renovation was going on. A week after Charlie died, COVID hit, the lockdown. The world shut down for me. So that was the context. And this is where my turning point came. I had to sit down and I had to think, where am I going? Is this what life is about? And that's where the moment of clarity came for me. You don't have to have answers. You don't need answers. You just need to pause. Because if you react at that point in time, all you're doing is making things worse for you. And you need to sit, silent, pause. And I realized I had to surrender. I cannot just keep following the first emotion that comes to my mind. And that is where the RISE framework comes from. RISE stands for recognize, inhale, strategize, and execute.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that, Pam. That's sharing something so close to your heart and with so much vulnerabilities. I got heart-wrenching listening to your stories, and then for you to share that, I really appreciate you for sharing that with us. And then I know that it's definitely a lot of healing to be done for you to create the framework and decide to use that to help more people out there, probably going through similar pathway like you are, and then to help them to because it's something that it's going to be so useful, because like you say, it's allow yourself to surrender and then not to let the emotion controlling you, and then to allow you to pause. That's such a powerful thing that you are doing there, Pam.
Thank you.
So did you come out with the framework during COVID time?
The COVID time was a really crucial time for me. I sat on a rocking chair as a moment of peace for myself. And I realized, the rocking chair goes backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. So the backwards, I'm going to the past. Forwards, I'm going to the future. There's sadness, depression, all of that happening in the past, and anxiety and all of that happening in the future. But then there's a point of equilibrium. The chair stops. It's balanced. I'm not going forward, I'm not going back. I'm there. And that was the moment I realized that that's what I needed to be. That's what you need to be when you're in a situation like that. You cannot think about what's going to happen in the future because you have no idea. You can't live in the past because that's nothing but a memory at this point in time. And if you are projecting that to the future, you are just informed by the past. You're creating a scenario that's not even there. You need to be there still. And yes, during the COVID, just at the end of the COVID, is what I realized. This is what I need to do. I need to listen to the silence. Because silence is so loud. We don't listen to it. It's got so much wisdom. It tells you what to do. If we just take the moment to listen.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love your analogy with the rocking chair, especially with the word that is full of noise nowadays. There are so many different news, so many different things happening every single day with the social media. And I love that you speak about the power of silence. So after you have been through the situation and with that rocking chair, so nowadays, how do you personally practice stillness? And with you, how did you help your clients or yourself using this method for the transformation?
I'm really into helping people realize that your emotions do not have to control you. There's some 80,000 plus emotions that go through our head every single day, and we have no control over it. We cannot fix it. We can't control it. It's like a highway. You're standing in front of the highway and the cars and the truck and the semi-trailers keep coming towards you. You can't stop it. What you can do is observe it. Be aware of it. No judgment, but just observe it. And that is how I help people today, to helping them go through that process of learning to observe without absorbing it. Observe it, recognize it, understand what it is, name it. Yesterday I had a little child, kindergarten child. You know, their skill set, the executive powers and all of that are very limited at that point in time. He was having a bit of a difficult time. He said, I feel hot. Can I go outside and take a break? Now that is a real sign of maturity, because for that child to be able to recognize, I feel hot. There's something happening. This is not me. There is something happening that I need to be aware of. I feel hot. He doesn't know the name. He doesn't know the labels, but I feel hot. I need to go outside. That's the type of emotional resilience that I'm passionate about for both adults and especially for parents, because before the kids start school, it's really important parents to impart that behavior pattern to their children, because as they say, children learn what they live. So the parents need to model that behavior. So I'm reaching out to the adults, the parents, for them to get that bit organized so that they can impart that to their children. By the time the children start school, they're ready. They're ready for the change. They have some sort of resilience built in them, and that doesn't hinder them academically. And that's where I help. So I help both adults. I help kids through adults, rather, where the communication, the connection has to happen through that moment of silence. Parents need to model that.
So you are helping children by helping the parents first.
Correct.
And also, aside from parents, and you're also helping professional women. So those are the clients that you currently work with. So with this group of people, and from your experience, what are some of the biggest emotional and mindset blocks that you see in this group of people, and how did you help them to shift through? I know that you mentioned about stillness and any other ways, or what are the biggest emotional mindset block that you see in them?
With the professionals or the adults? With the
both groups.
Whether you're a parent or a professional, the first thing you must do is lead yourself. Learn to lead yourself, because every one of us is a leader in some shape or form. We are a mother, we are a father, we are a teacher, we are a coach. Whatever we do, we lead in some way. But to be able to get to that point, you need to be able to lead yourself better. So leading yourself means controlling not controlling, to learn how to respond appropriately. To be able to respond, you need to have an intention. The intention comes from having a strategy. The strategy comes from having a moment of clarity. And that is where the silence comes in. Recognize that you are stressed at work. Recognize that you are stressed with your child having a tantrum. There may be 3 children, one having a tantrum, one wants to watch the TV, one wants to go and play. What do? Lead yourself better. In order to do that, take a moment. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be have an answer for everything. So one of the things that I see is that the stress, because when you are stressed as a leader, as a say, if I were to talk about a professional person, when you are stressed at work, your team suffers because your decisions don't have clear intentions. Your team is confused. Your team feels disrespected. Your team feels like misguided. You need to set the tone. In order to set the tone, to say, I am here to lead you. I'm not here to manage you, but I'm here to lead you, show you, support you, and encourage you. This is what we need to do. We need to have clarity. In order to have clarity with the team, you need to have clarity within yourself. That is one of the huge things that professionals tackle with, is that not having that moment of clarity because of the stress, because of the pressures, because of the deadlines that they're feeling. They're not able to lead the team in a way that they actually like to. And that's common for everybody, really, whether you're in a workplace, whether you're at home, whether you're in the playground leading a footy team. That's the same basic principle. You need to be able to lead yourself better in order to lead the team.
Yeah, start from you first.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
because if you're
important.
doing outside, if you're trying to please everybody, what you're doing is you're performing. You're performing to get approval. And that's not you.
Yeah, so true. It's about being authentic with yourself.
Correct. Yes.
And then to lead with your truest intention rather than wearing a mask and pretend to be someone else, and at the end of the day you didn't get the fulfillment and might not get the result that you want at the end as well.
That's right. Yes, you need to find at the core. I like your first question. Who are you at the core? What are you? What is your authentic self? When you talk about all the manifestation and achieving all the goals that you have, the highest frequency is authenticity.
Yeah.
So it is so important for you to find out who you are. You are not the clothes you wear. You're not your name. You're not, even if like my father lost a leg, but he didn't stop being him just because he lost it. It's not your physical self. Who are you? Find that out.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Pam. I think it's such an important reminder for each and everyone out there, whether you are a leader or no, you are a leader for yourself. If you're not a leader at workplace, but at the end, we are the leader of our own self.
Absolutely. We need to lead ourselves.
Yeah, that's so important. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Pam. And another question that I know that you have been in the educator sector for like around 25 years. That's a very long time. So how was your experience in education influence you, the way that you coach and helping with your clients nowadays?
Good question. I think it has given me that a few things. One of the things is given me the experience to communicate, to negotiate with people of different backgrounds, different calibers, different ages, different ethnicities, different people who speak different languages. Regardless of who you are, you can't approach each one the same way. And I think my education for 25 years plus has given me that insight. And I'm very thankful for that. And another thing that's taught me is the importance of looking at who you are, not learning your language, not learning your science, not learning your maths. Yes, it's important. But what's important is how you apply that to you. So the knowledge, I can go to an encyclopedia, read it, and I can get the knowledge. But how am I using that knowledge? Because that's when it becomes wisdom. So that is another thing that I have learned through my education. The other thing is, I think, emotional side of it. Looking at how children starting from kindergarten, they come so fresh. Some kids, some students are really, most of them are really attached to their parents or whoever the caregiver is at that point in time, 5 years, 5.5, 6 years. Then they have to break that bond in order to trust a teacher who they've never met before. That's a very huge milestone, a step. And as an educator, we need to be able to negotiate that. We need to be able to be the bridge between that. That's a very fine line. So while we do not want to be, for anyone coaching parents or professionals, we do not want to be the mother figure. We also want to be able to help facilitate that transformation. I think being an educator has helped me become the facilitator for that transformation, where whether it's a student or a child or an adult or a professional, go from one to another. And I'm really happy to be the bridge in between. They can cross over, become the true authentic self.
Yeah.
If I can just refer back to a little story of another little boy that I met a few years ago, kindergarten. He came to kindergarten very attached to his mom, as little kids are. He sat on his hands. So he didn't take his hands out. He said, I can't do it. I can't. Coloring in, opening lunchbox, nothing. I can't do it. I can't do it. And tears falling down his face. I can't do it. I want my mom. I want my mom. And he sat on his hands to make sure that he doesn't take his hands out. That was the bond that he had, the bond that he refused to break. What broke my heart is having seen him sitting on the sideline during lunchtime, not being able to make friends. Because he refused to do that. He didn't want to replace his mom. I worked with him. I told him, four words I taught him. I can do it. That's all I told him in kindergarten, things that we need to be on their level. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. So halfway through one of the lessons he had his hand up, colored the tape. The lines were all over the place. It didn't matter. He did what he had to do. Fast forward 6 years, he was a school captain.
Oh.
On the last day of the school, he came to me and said, you know what, miss? They bring their little bear to sign, the graduation bear. You know what? I did it. And, then I had tears in my eyes. I said, no, you did it.
You got me into tears now.
You know what? You can still do it.
Wow.
So that's the power of being there, not judging, but helping, supporting that transformation, the changeover. And it doesn't matter whether it's a kindergarten child or an adult. Still, adults go through that transformation, life transformations. I had my parents passed away within 5 months of each other. I had to transform being a daughter to being an orphan pretty much, because my parents now both have gone. And that's a transformation that I needed to do myself. We all go through these career transitions. We might have divorces, any type of transition. That is where my education has taught me to be the bridge.
Wow, that's amazing. That's such a beautiful story there, Pam. And I always have my hats off to all the educators. It's not an easy job. It's like I always salute all the educators there. And just like you say, a good educator is someone who is like you helping them to transform, to transition to the life where they were so attached with their parents, and then you are like there's a Chinese saying that you are the people that grow trees, and there are these apples, there are these fruits that they are going out to the world, and you are the most important people in their life that's going to impact them in the future.
That's a nice analogy, yes.
Yeah, that's such a important job that you have there, Pam. And I love all the educators, because I always salute that, because I don't have the patience with kids, and that's why I always have the heads off for all the educators out there. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing, Pam. And I know that you're someone with such a big heart as well. And you, like I mentioned earlier, we know each other through Alive 90.5, a community radio show. And you actually nominated twice as a New South Wales Volunteer of the Year. And that means you have done a lot of dedication, a lot of work as well. Congratulations for that, Pam. And
Thank you very much.
what's drive you for this commitment to the community service?
I'm very, very honored to have been nominated by the radio station as a Volunteer of the Year. What drives me with the community service is it's built into my DNA. I think I've grown around my community service. Grandparents, my parents, they were all about the community. They were all about service. They were all about giving back to the community. I've known nothing but that from day one of my life. So it was very easy for me to follow that path. And I think it is, while we are here on this earth for a very brief period with a speck of dust in this whole universe, our purpose is to leave this planet slightly better than we found it. So the only way to do that is make someone's life better. It's a little way. Every bit helps. I mean, it might be tiny for me, but for that person, it might be the whole world. You never know what sort of an impact that has on someone else. But I think that's what community service is about, is not so much accolades or awards or prizes or anything. It doesn't matter. But it's the satisfaction, it's the feeling that you get seeing someone smile because you made a difference in their life.
Of course. Yeah, you are that. Like you mentioned earlier, you are the leader notes out of this universal symphony, and that I love that you saying that you are there to brighten someone's life and bring the lights to others. Of course, you are so much more into community service, and thank you for your big heart helping so many people out there. Yeah, so thank you so much for spending your time with us, Pam. So what's next for Pam now?
Next for Pam, I am focusing on my coaching. So I want to help as many people as possible make that transformation from being in a stressful, confused, chaotic situation into a place of calm. And that is my mission right now. So I'm trying to impart whatever knowledge and experience that I have gained over the years working with both adults and children. If I can help someone make that transformation, I think it not just help that person, but it's going to be a generational change that's going to happen. And I think this world needs that the moment of peace, the silence, the clarity. I think this world needs it. So if I can change one person's life for the better, help them transform their life, it's going to help the next generation, the next.
Yes.
That, I think, is my bigger purpose right now.
Yeah, the ripple of effects that you are
Correct.
creating.
Absolutely, the ripple effect, yes.
Yeah, I really appreciate what you're doing, Pam. And like you say, it's not only this generation that you're helping, because the next generation, the future younger generation, that's so much more that you're doing for everyone out there. So where can people find you online, Pam?
I'm PamRajapakse.com.au is the website. So there's all the information there.
Okay, I'll put the link later.
Correct, yes. And also, if you would like to reach out to me on Align 90.5, my program is Turning Point, which is on a Saturday at the moment at 11 o'clock in the morning. So there's the link is on the align90.5.com.au site. If you would like to come and share your story, you are more than welcome. Get in touch with me. So those two are the main ways that you can get in touch with me, and plus all the other LinkedIn and all the other socials. Yes.
I will include Pam's socials and how you can contact her in the description, and also on the screen later as well. Yeah, amazing. You are such a beautiful soul, Pam. I love what you're doing, and thank you so much for helping this generation and the next generation as well. So as this is a 100 Successful Women podcast, so what is your one piece of advice for other women out there before we wrap up today's session, Pam?
One piece of advice: you are capable of more than you think you know. There's a lioness inside of you. If I can borrow Vivienne's title, there's a lioness inside of you, or a lion inside of you. You do not have to find it. It's already there. Just remember it. Remember it. Bring it out. And you can change the world for the better in your own way.
That's such a beautiful line that you get there, Pam. It's always there, and you just need to practice that stillness that Pam shared with us to tap into that. And I love what Pam is doing and sharing as well. Thank you so much for your time with us, Pam. You have shared so much golden nuggets and so many beautiful stories, and make me share into a few tears as well. Thank you so much, Pam. But before we go, is there anything that you would like me to ask that I haven't asked yet, Pam?
I think you covered everything, Vivienne. Thank you so much again for this opportunity. I enjoyed immensely. And I hope the message gets through there that you don't need to have answers. You don't need to have answers always. Surrender yourself and the answer will come to you. Listen to the silence.
Listen to the silence. I love that. Thank you so much once again, Pam. For those of you listening out there, if you also have a stories that you want to share, like the story that Pam just shared, her turning point. She got a radio show which is called Turning Point as well. That's such a beautiful show. Reach out to her as well. And if you wanted to get help for yourself and for your children, reach out to her as well. Thank you so much for your time spending with us today, Pam.
Thank you very much.